Picture this. Your development team just spent 3 months building a feature that nobody uses. Sound familiar? Hey everyone, welcome back to the Product Noobs channel. If you're getting started in product management or working with Agile teams, one skill you must master is writing user stories. But don't worry, in this video, I'll break down how to write user stories in a way that's easy to understand, easy to use, and powerful for your team. User stories are a fundamental tool in product management, helping teams clearly define what needs to be built and why. Writing effective user stories ensures that products align with user needs, leading to better experiences and successful development. So, what exactly is a user story? Well, in simple terms, a user story is a simple description of a feature told from the perspective of the person who desires the new capability, usually a user or customer of the system. It explains who the user is, what they want to do, and why it matters to them. User stories help teams understand the value behind each feature and keep the focus on real user needs rather than just technical tasks. Think of it not as a detailed instruction manual for your engineers, but as a promise for a conversation. Its main purpose is to focus on the user. It forces us to think about who is using the product and why they need something. Describe value. It clearly explains the benefit or outcome a user will get. Facilitate conversation. It acts as a starting point for discussions between the product manager, designers, and the development team. It invites questions, clarifications, and collaboration. Encourage simplicity. It keeps things concise and focused on a single, digestible piece of functionality. Why are user stories important in product management? Traditional requirements documents can be long, dry, and often misinterpreted. User stories cut through that. They promote shared understanding and ensure the team is always building with the user's needs in mind. User stories play a key role in Agile product development by keeping the user at the center of all decisions, breaking down complex projects into manageable, understandable pieces. Encouraging collaboration between product managers, developers, designers, and stakeholders, helping prioritize work based on value and effort, providing clear criteria for when a task is done. User stories have one simple and generic formula when writing them. It goes like this: as a user, I want to do this action so that I can achieve that result. Now let's look at some examples. As a returning customer, I want to save my card details so that I can check out faster. It's not a long technical document, rather it's a conversation starter. It keeps the focus on what the user needs, not just what features to build. Another example, as a frequent traveler, I want to save my favorite destinations so that I can quickly access them later. And another example, as a customer, I want two-factor authentication so that I can secure my account against unauthorized access. I hope you are getting the general idea about it. First, start with the user and not the feature. Instead of saying, we need a feature that saves card details on the e-commerce platform, ask, who will use this feature and why is it important to them? Be specific about the user. Don't just write for any user. Be sure of what type of user will be using the feature. Remember, different kinds of users may use your product for different reasons. You need to understand those reasons and build features that serve them. Focus on the outcome and not the solution. Your user story focuses on what the user wants to achieve and not how they intend to achieve it. Let your design and development team figure out the latter part in their best way. Take a look at this before and after example. Before, as a user, I want a dashboard so that I can see data. After identifying areas for improvement, I can set specific, measurable goals for each team member to help them progress and grow in their roles. You will notice that the second version tells us who, what they're trying to accomplish, and why it matters to them. Here is a simple step to follow when writing a simple user story. Know your user. Before writing, know who your user is. Use personas, fictional but realistic profiles of your typical users to guide your thinking. This helps you draft stories that truly reflect user needs, not just assumptions. Keep it simple and clear. Draft your stories in plain, non-technical language. Avoid jargon or vague terms. Stories should be brief and easy for everyone on the team to understand. Focus on one goal per story. Each user story should describe a single user goal or action. If a story is too big or complicated, break it down into smaller stories or treat it as an epic, a larger body of work made up of multiple stories. Define acceptance criteria. Acceptance criteria are the conditions that must be met for the story to be considered complete. They act like a checklist to make sure everyone agrees on what done means. For example, for the filtering story, acceptance criteria might include: user can filter products by minimum and maximum price, filter updates results instantly, filter works on both desktop and mobile. Prioritize your stories. Not all stories are equally important. Prioritize based on user value, business goals, effort required, and any risks or dependencies. This helps your team focus on what matters most first. Review and refine regularly. User stories are not set in stone. As you learn more from users and stakeholders, update and refine your stories. Remember, Agile development is flexible, so your backlog should reflect changing priorities and new insights. A simple best practice for writing user stories is to write from the user's perspective to keep the focus on their needs. Use personas to make stories relatable and targeted. Keep stories small enough to be completed within one sprint, usually 1 to 2 weeks. Avoid technical details in the story itself. Those come later during planning. Collaborate with your team when writing and refining stories to ensure feasibility and clarity. Include acceptance criteria to define clear done conditions. Use active voice and simple language for clarity. What are acceptance criteria? They are a list of conditions that must be met for the user story to be considered complete and working correctly. They clarify the specific behavior and outcomes. A common format for acceptance criteria is given, when, then. Given a certain context or precondition, when I perform an action, then I expect a specific outcome. Let's use our busy parent user story example. As a busy parent, I want to quickly find baby formulas so that I can save time during my grocery run and get home faster. Here are a few illustrations. Given I am on the grocery app's homepage, when I type baby formula into the search bar and press enter, then I see a list of relevant baby formula products displayed at the top of the search results. Given I am viewing baby formula search results, when I apply the organic filter, then only organic baby formula products are shown. Given there are no baby formula products in stock, when I search for baby formula, then I see a message indicating no products found and suggestions for similar items. In Agile, the product owner or manager writes user stories based on user research and feedback. Stories are reviewed and prioritized with the team. During sprint planning, the team estimates effort and commits to stories they can complete. Developers and designers build the feature guided by the story and acceptance criteria. Once the story meets all criteria, it's marked as done and ready for release. As a product manager, you don't just sit in a corner and write user stories. Your role is much more dynamic. Discover and define. You're constantly talking to users, analyzing data, and understanding market trends to identify the problems and needs that will become your user stories. Write and refine. You draft the initial user stories focusing on the who, what, and why. Then you work with your development team and designers to refine them, add details, and ensure they are ready to be built. This collaboration is key. Prioritize. You ensure the most valuable and important user stories are at the top of your product backlog, ready to be worked on next. Facilitate conversation. You lead discussions about user stories, answer questions, clarify ambiguities, and ensure everyone has a shared understanding of what needs to be built and why. Except, once a story is built, you verify that it meets the acceptance criteria and truly delivers the intended value before it's released. User stories are a living part of your product's journey. They'll evolve, be broken down, or even get removed as you learn more about your users and the market. While user stories are simple, it's easy to make mistakes. Here are a few to watch out for. Writing too many at once. Don't try to define every single detail up front. User stories are emergent. Focus on the near term. Making them too big, epics without breaking down. If a story can't be estimated or seems like a huge project, it's probably an epic and needs to be broken down into many smaller, manageable user stories. Not including the so that. This is the biggest mistake. Without the value, it's just a task, not a story. Writing for the system, not the user. Avoid, as a system I want to. It should always be from a human perspective. Mastering user stories is a superpower for any product manager. They shift the focus from merely building features to understanding users, delivering value, and fostering a truly collaborative team environment. If you found this breakdown helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more product management insights, and let me know in the comments. What's your biggest challenge when writing user stories, or what's your favorite tip for making them effective? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.